Hi everyone, thanks for joining us again. We are moving on to chart 7 today. This one's a bit of a beast, okay? We've got the 4 letters on the side, so we've got I, L, T and U, and then those 4 are joining with C, O, A, D, G, and Q, which is a new letter for us and one I'm really excited to have a look at. So there's 24 joins that we're going to be practicing today. So this one's a bit of a longer video, and you might find that if you're using the double lines, that you will need to use probably 2 pages for this, whereas I think we can probably squeeze them all onto the single lines. What I'll do, just so I'm not wasting paper, is I'll split this in half and use 1 line for 2 examples, things I never use the whole line anyway. All right, let's get started. So make sure you are sitting properly. Your paper is angled, but you're facing the desk straight on. So if you're left-handed, you normally find that the paper needs to tilt round to the right. And if you're right-handed, you normally find the paper has to tilt round to the left, okay? There is no reason that your hand should be smudging across, okay? Left-handers, I'm mainly talking to you there. I'm left-handed, I can write perfectly, so you should be able to as well. All of the time we are holding our pencils or pens like this, and you are writing underneath the line. So that's why tilting the page is really important, because it means you're not having to bend your wrist. Okay, so if you need to spend some time getting yourself set up for that, that's first and foremost the most important thing, to get your posture right and to get your pencil grip correct. And then handwriting will be so much easier and simpler for you. So let's get started. We're going to start with our I first, and we're going to do the first join, which is IC. So the I is always joining at the bottom, and as you know, it starts with scared monkey. So I, then up to C, round. Don't forget your dot at the end for the I. Just like that, nice and simple. Now I am trying not to make it too over looped here, so again that's probably not a great example, but if we have a look on the smaller ones, it's much easier. That join is then nice and close, not too much of a gap in between. Okay, moving on to IO. So I'm going to do this up here, but you can start a new line. IO is a bit like IC, except we come down and then we carry on round, and this time we've got the little flick at the top on the O, so you can just see it there. Okay, I'll do that again. So down, up, just like you do in a C, all the way around, flick, and then the dot for the I. Great. And on the single line paper, it looks like this. All right, moving on to IA. So again, it's the same action. All of these again have that kind of over and back round again loops on the C, O, A, D, G and Q. So with IA, go round, and don't forget that flick at the end. So this time the flick's at the bottom. Okay. Hope you can actually see that all right. I think you can. And then ID. So again, I'm just going to use the same line, but please make sure you use a new line. And it's the same motion, except this time go all the way up because D is an ascending letter. And while I'm writing, I'm just trying to think of some words that I can make with my joins. Oh, forgot the dot on that one. Whoops. There we go. It's definitely easier, I think, on the single lines, but that's probably just me. Moving on to our last two for the I joins, we've got IG next, and then IQ, both of which are descending letters. We are not looping the G, guys. Okay, I know some of you like to loop it. We are not looping. And the more you practice, I know certainly the more that I've practiced handwriting, the quicker I've got at forming letters correctly. And I've been able to spot mistakes that I'm making quite easily and correcting them. Okay, and the last on this line is IQ. And I'll just do that one here. So a bit like the G, apart from we go down and the other way. And again, it's just kind of little flick at the end, a bit like we do with the A's or the D's. Don't forget your dot for the I. Oh, it's going into a D there. That's the wrong one. Whoops. I, Q. Okay. And let's have a look at that one here. So the descender again. You can see it just fits really snugly underneath that IG. So even though the G has descended down, there's still enough space because it's not gone past that middle part of the line. There's still enough space for you to write underneath it. Right, let's move on to L. So we're going to start off with LC. So starting right at the top up by Brave Monkey for L. Coming down and linking over, just then carrying on as if you would with the I. Okay, so all these letters are joined together with, are linked with their joins. Okay, the way that they join are all really similar. There's a pattern. And again on the single lines. And LO is the same, so you're coming down, going over. Remember with the O, you have that flick at the top. The reason you do that is if you're joining from O, that's where you need to make the join most of the time, okay? In fact, all of the time, I think. So it's always joining at the top on the O. That's why we have that little kind of extension there. Do that once more. So straight up from Brave Monkey all the way down, up to Scared Monkey and flick at the end. And of course, if you need to pause the video to finish, I expect you to do that. I'm not doing the whole row, whereas I of course want to see the whole row. I want you to practice the whole row. But I know I'm not doing that. So make sure you pause the video if you need to. Don't feel like you have to go through the whole thing first. Although if you want to watch it first and then do it, of course, you can do that as well. However you like, really. Okay, LA. Of course, those of you that do singing know that la is a tune or a note that we can sing. Taking this on nice and slowly. And remembering that flick at the end for the A this time. Same kind of style again. Now we go into LD. So just like we've done, except we need to ascend all the way up to the top of the line for the D. And remembering that flick at the end. So these are two ascending letters together. So it's quite a long join, really. There are so many words that we use LD for: would, should, could, that we use in everyday writing. So it's really important that you get this one right. And moving on to LG. So last two here, LG and LQ, obviously are descenders. So we go round, down, no loop at the end. Okay, really important. One more. Okay, great. And the same on the single lines. So down, push over, pull back round, up, down, and hook at the bottom. And exactly the same for LQ. So this time we go down, we have that little flick at the end, just as we do in our A and D and many of our other letters. And on the single line, that Q fitting nicely under the G. So I'd still be able to read it, even though it's going into the line below. Great, you are halfway through, well done. So we need to give your hands a little shake, get yourself repositioned. I know I need to have just a really quick stretch. Okay, moving on to T joining up now. So first one is going to be TC. We're going to start again, just like the L. So you're basically repeating everything that you've just done, but you just need to remember to go back and add that cross for the T. And again on the single lines, I'm not going to go too slowly through these just because we've basically just done the same thing previously. Just always remember to go back and cross that T. The next one is TO. So remember with your O to do the flick at the top at the end, so straight out and then crossing the T. Of course, this makes word two. And it's easy to see what that flick looks like with the line not there on that one. Hope you can see that all right. The sun's decided to come out. Okay, TA. Take that one a bit more slower. and then TD. So again, another ascending letter, and look at that flick at the end. And the last two, TG. Remember not to loop. And TQ. Oh, almost forgot to cross my T. And then finally, the last one that we've got is our U. So starting with UC. So we go from the middle loop, and then instead of doing that flick at the end, we take it all the way up diagonally into that C. Just like that. And again on the single lines. Then moving on to UO. So just like with UC, except we follow around, and remember to leave that flick on the O for the join. And UA. Remember to use that flick to take it up and over. It certainly helps you with the join. Bit of a gap there, that's not a very good one. Make sure you're going curving it round. Into UD. So D is an ascender, so make sure you go all the way up to Brave Monkey. You can always hold on to your paper if you need to, especially as you get lower down the paper. Okay, our last two, which are the descending ones. So we've got U, G. That's a really nice one, actually. I feel like that flows really nicely. And then the last one that we have is U, Q. And then I'm going to start thinking of some words that I could write. I've already got a couple in my mind. Great work today, because this is quite a long chart to copy. I can feel the concentration, if only from me. Okay, there we go. So thinking of some words, the ones I can think of are shrug. So if you shrug your shoulders because you don't know. The S, we've not learned how to join that yet. However, we have learned the R, the H, R. And then you've got the U, G as well. So let's do that again. So S can be left on its own. H, R, U, G. And you can already see actually where we're going to end up being able to join the R and the U as well. Let's just have a look at it here. Okay, I actually joined it there. And any others that you can think of? So well done, that was a really long chart today. 24 joins we did today for chart 7. But great job, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.